Alright, so look. This video has been the hardest video that I've ever posted in my life. And I mean like in my entire life. I've recorded this video over 5 times. Every time I wanted to get it posted, it's always been an issue. The editing, the posting, the not uploading. Like, it's ridiculous. Okay? Anyway, I'm not going to rant on that. This one better work. I'm going to just say that much. Anyway, so, alright, I'm going to do it. This one is going to be way quicker than the other ones because I had like a 30-minute video or so, and I did it like that each time. So, let's say I'm extra frustrated with this. Anyway, I'm going to tell my story real fast about me and my husband. Or should I say my husband and I, for all y'all that want to, you know, correct people. Anyway, so, I'm going to give you a quick disclaimer. I will be giving a little, no, not a little. I will be giving a good bit of detail that might be uncomfortable to you when it comes down to doing the grown-up. So, that's one. 2 is, I will also talk about, not in detail, but I'm going to have to, like, put a little bit of the abuse and the rape shit in this video. So if you also can't deal with that at this moment, you can close out the video. I have other videos that you could watch. So, now I'm going to get started on my story. So, my husband and I met when I was 13, he was 14. I was turning 14 like a month later, and he was turning 15 a couple months after that. So, we basically clicked. Like, it was like that. It wasn't not like nothing. It literally was like, boom. I have a lot of backstory to that I have to tell y'all about, because this is going to make sense, but it's way more to it. I feel like he was meant to come into my life at that moment because I continued to fight and get arrested, and almost did juvenile life due to all of that. So, oh, I had a bomb-ass lawyer. Anyway, so, what happened? We clicked immediately. I didn't tell him a lot of history of my household. He didn't know that I was adopted. He didn't know that I was being abused. He didn't know about the rape or anything. Like, when we would go to talk about family, actually me and him wouldn't really touch base on what's happening in each one of our houses. So, it was like we'd dance around the whole scenario. So, anyway, what else? So, I'm gonna just skip ahead. 3 years later, we were still together. In the beginning, let me touch that real fast. In the beginning, I thought it was just gonna be a little quick, you know, high school little boyfriend. You're just my little boyfriend for high school type ordeal. Turned out not to be the case. 3 years later, I found out that I had cervical cancer. He walked me through that entire situation. He walked me through the entire situation with the detectives having to talk to me, all the court appearances, all of that. He stayed with me through it all. I mean, like, through it all. I also, like, was trying to figure out what my mental illness was at the time. We had no clue what it was. And I also didn't know when I was going through an episode, and he actually was able to point it out. He was actually able to be like, babe, you're going through an episode right now. And he would be able to calm me down type thing. Or when I would be in the depression stage, he would literally not leave my side. Like, he legit held me down. I mean, held me down. Even when all them dumbass rumors was going around and all of that, he still held me down. Because people was trying to break me and him up. It was like ridiculous. Like, I'm not even gonna get into that. But it was ridiculous. But around that time, like I said, I was starting to give him bits and pieces about what was happening. So our first initial, like, real date, we went to Kennywood for his birthday. I was so shocked that my adopted mom even let me go. But we went to Kennywood for his birthday. We had a ball. And I started touching on a little bit of what was happening in my house as far as the abuse was concerned. He still didn't know about the rape scenario. But I called him about a week later and I'm like, babe, I'm leaving this house. I can't take it, can't deal with it. And he's trying to talk me into staying because, again, he didn't know everything yet. So I was like, I'm leaving this house. You can't talk me out of it. I'll call you when I get to where I'm going. Hung up the phone on him because he continued to say stay. I hung up the phone on him. I grabbed what I packed up, carried it around, called him, like I carried it to where I was going. I called him and was like, look, you could come over here and I'll tell you some shit about what's happening. So he gets there and I literally start breaking down the whole abuse thing to him. That's when he was like, God damn. So like I said, from that point on, he held me down. Still didn't know about the rape shit. So he started saying detectives coming around and shit like that. And he didn't know why. And they will always excuse him. They would be like, we need to talk to her by herself. So when they would excuse him, I am positive he used to be like, yo, what the hell is going on? And I know she don't fuck with cops. So what is happening? And I was asking my foster mom at the time. She was technically my caretaker. And I was asking her, I'm like, do you think I should tell him? She loved him. Like, she loved him. Like, loved him. But she was like, yeah, like, he literally has been there this far. Tell him what happened. So July 4th came around. After me and her had that conversation, I still couldn't bring myself to tell him. So literally 4 days, I wasn't telling him. We had plans on going downtown for the fireworks, and I was like, look, I'm sorry, but I can't go. He was like, what? I was like, I can't go. I can't deal with all them people. Like, I literally spazzed. He's like, I was like, but we are going to go for a walk. I got to talk to you about something. That's what my caretaker said at the time, too. And when he looked at her, she's like, no, seriously, you need to hear what she got to say. So we go for our walk. We walking for a minute. And I'm going around everything. I'm not really, like, breaking nothing down. Didn't say nothing. So I was like, you need to sit down. He sat down. And I'm like, I didn't tell you this because you're young. And a lot of people have the habit of trying to blame the person who's been through it rather than understanding that it's not the person's fault. And I really was like, look, I was being raped by both my uncles, not at the same time, but they both literally was raping me. The one was raping me for 5 years, the other one raped me for 4. So when I said that, I thought it was going to be like, what? I'm not dealing with this shit, you know? But when I actually looked at him dead ass in his eyes, he literally was starting to get emotional. And it really was like, that was the moment where I was like, yo, I love him. Like, legit love him. Because other people would have been like, how? Why? Like, what did you do? Did you not try to fight and all this bullshit? But he literally got up, grabbed me, hugged me, and was like, yo, we got it. We're going to deal with this and all of that. So, like I said, when I went to the doctor, and they did another exam on me from after all of the other shit. So they gave me an exam. They didn't get to even draw my blood yet. The lady's like, she's like, the doctor, she said, I need to talk to you in my office immediately. I walk over there and I'm like, what? Because I'm thinking she about to tell me I got some. So I was scared to death because my one uncle never wore no protection. So I'm scared to death. And she's like, I'm sorry to tell you this, but you're going to have trouble ever having kids if you even have a chance of having kids. She's like, and I'm almost positive you won't have kids. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? She's like, you have cervical cancer. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you have cervical cancer and it's rare to see it in somebody your age. And I'm like, how? Like how? She said when a person endures so much trauma in that area, it can start messing you up, basically. All the scratches and all that can mess you up. So I'm like, down. She's like, we need to go schedule you for minor surgery and we'll go from there. So I walk out, get the next appointment day. He's sitting in the waiting room waiting for me. Then when I walk out of there, he looked me dead ass in the eyes and he knew something was wrong instantly. But my thought, I was like, this man probably thinking that like I got something. So we walk out and I'm like, yo, I got cervical cancer and I'm not going to be able to have kids. He looked at me like, he's like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm dead ass serious. So he was like, we'll adopt if we have to or whatever when we get a little older. It's cool. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So the surgery happens. And like I said, the doctor didn't do the blood test on me at the very first appointment. So when I, again, walk out of there from getting the surgery, I actually miscarried twins on the table. Like the blood drained out of the doctor's face. I don't even want to touch on that. That bothers me to this day. But I come out and I tell him as we're walking. Again, we're both messed up behind it. I was on antidepressants and what the hell else? I was on antidepressants and birth control pills. And they gave me the birth control pills to regulate my periods after having the surgery because it wasn't regular. So I ended up pregnant again, miscarried that baby, then ended up pregnant again, but that baby survived. That's my oldest son. My husband knew the entire time that I was pregnant, though, and that had me so hot because he kept saying, you're pregnant, you're pregnant, you're pregnant. Now, during this time, all the adults, except for the ones that was around us, continuously say, oh, y'all ain't gonna be able to be nothing. They was really doing that to my husband. Do you have a job? Are you gonna be able to help her raise this baby? It's gonna be hard. I mean, consistent as bullshit, okay? So I'm like, even if we don't stay together, I'm going to be able to raise my damn kid. And men actually, let me rewind just a little bit. When we found out I was pregnant for sure, and the doctor said, I'm more than likely going to be able to carry this baby, they did an ultrasound and the baby basically like was already attached to my uterus. So after me and him discussed this situation, we both decided on keeping the baby. Was like, since there's a chance that I won't be able to have any more, we'll just keep the baby. So, time's going on. The problem with that pregnancy, though, I was sicker than sick the entire time. I mean, consistently sick. Like, he had to help me consistently. I was sick as hell. So, and I know it was getting on his nerves that he had to buy me fries and Frosties. I used to dip it in the... I used to dip my fries into the Frosties consistently, and he used to sit there grossed out. I'm like, boy, try it. Anyway, I had my son. He was there with me along with my mother-in-law. My father-in-law was amped. Like, he was so excited. I thought he was going to be mad when I told him when I was pregnant, though. Like, but he was excited. So anyway, we have the baby. He didn't leave. He ain't go nowhere. We both had jobs. And I also was getting checks from... I don't even know how to explain that part. Anyway, so we was good. Like, we was good. Like, it wasn't no issue. So, babe, can you get those? Sorry. Those right there, I'm sorry. But we were good. We didn't have no money issues. Everything happened. My husband still graduated from high school. I left the high school that we were going to together, and I got enrolled in another high school. And I graduated with high honors. He graduated with honors as well. We held down jobs. I was 17 when we got our first place. 17. And then when I got my place, everybody's like, oh, it's really going to get hard then. How about it wasn't hard? How about when I turned 20, I ended up pregnant with my second son. I actually had another miscarriage in between. And I wasn't even trying to get pregnant, but I found out by the doctor that even on being on birth control, my antidepressants was actually, the chemicals couldn't mix together. It was basically overpowering the birth control. So I was getting pregnant. And we did not plan these babies. They were miracles. But that I was 20 when I got pregnant with my second son. But when I got pregnant with him, well, when I gave birth to him, I don't know why he was in a rush to get here. But when I gave birth to him, I had postpartum depression, and I mean bad. Like, my brother-in-law had to stay to make certain that I wouldn't do nothing stupid to myself or to my kid. Like, it was bad. Obviously, I got help behind it, but it was bad. I hate thinking about that. It gives me chills. Whew, Jesus. We moved to a different place, and hold on. We moved to a different place, and I had like 2 miscarriages there, and another situation happened with me being pregnant again. So we were like, okay, we'll try for one more and that's it. And it was a little difficult, but I finally got pregnant, got checked, he was good. So I was able to carry him full term. But this time I had to get induced because they were scared I was going to have him at home. Because my second son came really fast. I wasn't even in labor a full hour with him. So, I actually almost had him at home. So, to be safe, they wanted me to get induced with him. And he came out healthy. He didn't do nothing that almost caused him to pass away when he came out. My first son's cord was wrapped around his neck. And I guess that happened when he flipped over because he was breached the entire time I was pregnant. And when he was born, as he came out, he was starting to turn blue. My husband couldn't cut the cord for him. My other son, my second son, when he was on his way out, he shit and my water came out green. And I didn't even know what the hell that meant. So they started rushing to get him out. Like they're like using that little sucky thing all in his nose. He could have got RSV or something, RV, I don't know. But it actually turned out for him to be okay. Then I got induced with my third son a day early because again they were scared. And then months later, after my wedding, I got pregnant again with my daughter, but I didn't tell him I was pregnant this time because I didn't decide what I was going to do. I literally was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with like this situation because I just had a baby and that's a lot. I was still going through the postpartum depression with that, but it wasn't as bad as my second son. That was horrible. Again, I don't want to touch that. Anyway, so my pregnancy, I wasn't sick or anything. I was cool. So I didn't tell him. I was like 5 months. And I found out she was a girl. I made the doctor check over and over because they kept telling me my oldest son was a girl and I didn't find out he was a boy until I literally had like a month left. And I made her check over and over and over. She's like, I promise you this one's a girl. So everybody's obviously amped because I have 3 boys. So everybody was amped up. They had a baby shower for me. When I told him, he was shocked like hell though. So I had her. They induced me again because they were scared. So I had her a day early from her due date, and we were all good. Granted, we had our ups and downs with our relationship, like any other couple. We also had other hurdles we had to get over. My mental health was one big one. Because again, I wasn't on the right medication. And they kept prescribing me antidepressants. And come to find out, antidepressants will throw a bipolar person, it would throw their chemicals off and make them spiral out of control, basically. So when I finally got the right medication, everything turned around. We was good. I'm not telling this story because 16-year-olds should go out and have kids. Because you shouldn't do it. And the only reason why I even had sex with my husband the very first time was because I felt like, okay, my innocence is already gone. So what's the point of holding on? I made him wait 3 years before I kissed or anything. Like, we didn't do none of that. I was not playing no games. Besides that, I was already being raped the entire time I was with him. So he didn't even know. There would be mornings I'd come into school. And in that morning, I was being raped. And then I would come into school and literally have to suffer through that for the entire day. And then there was days where it would happen to me in the morning and the other one would break me at night. And then I would come to school. It was like he didn't know all of that. So, like I said, before all of that, I planned on waiting until I was married. But since I felt like my innocence was gone already, and this man waited 3 years, I was like, screw it. You know, we've been together for so long. He's been holding me down for so long. I was holding him down for so long. So it was like, whatever. Damage is already done. And I knew our relationship actually was more serious than I thought after a while. So that's another reason. So, like I said, I'm not telling this story for anybody to go out here and purposely get pregnant at the age of 16. Because sometimes it is true. Your partner can break up with you. You can't end up having to raise that baby on your own. I was lucky though. I'm still with this man. We've been together for 20 years now. So I was lucky in my situation. We literally have our 4 kids. We've taken care of our 4 kids by ourselves. Barely any type of help at all. So we were able to do it. And it pisses me off when I hear a lot of people say, oh, y'all will break up, y'all won't be together, what are you doing, you're stupid, that type of thing. Oh, you're not going to be able to graduate or accomplish anything. We set goals and accomplish them plus some. So it is possible. But that's not a smart decision to just go out and just do it. Be careful if you're sexually active at that age. Be as careful as possible. I feel like it was meant for me to have my kids because we literally use so much protection. I really can't say it right now. But we protected ourselves. Heavy, okay? And I still ended up pregnant. And I still, even though I went through mad miscarriages, but I still have my kids. I have my 4 miracles in my house right now. Probably in there getting on each other's nerves. But I have my 4 miracles walking around. And I tell them consistently, you're my damn miracle. They know a good bit of that background about me not being able to have kids. And now that my eldest is his age, he really gets it now. So he understands to the core when I say, you're my miracle. So I don't regret none of the decisions I made. I don't regret being with this man for these 20 years. I did keep pushing our wedding back. Like, I pushed that bitch back. But our 10th year, I was like, all right, screw it. Because he said that's all he wanted for his birthday. So I let him get married. So this is 10 years later. After our wedding, we're still together a whole 20 years later. I don't want y'all to go out here and get pregnant. I don't want y'all to go out here and be like, oh, since you doubted me, I'm going to get pregnant anyway, and I'm going to be able to do it. That's not always guaranteed. But it's also not impossible. Okay? You're going to go through your ups and downs in life. And some people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And basically, what you need in that moment, God got you. That person might not be there forever, but in that moment, you needed what happened. It is what it is. So, look at life like that. Also, don't think nobody owe you a goddamn thing. The world don't owe you shit if you had a shitty life. That's something big that you need to remember too. Again, don't go out here running and get pregnant. Wait till you're a little older. But don't believe nobody when they say you can't be shit. Because I promise you, you can. I promise you, you can conquer a lot. If you don't have family support, I'm one of them, then keep it pushing. That's when you need to work a little harder. But you also need to understand you're working for a reason. You're trying to get somewhere in life. And believe me, if you have a kid, they're watching. They know everything. A lot of people don't realize that. They think that their kids are too young to understand. Nah, buddy. You're too dumb to understand that your kids understand. So you really need to watch what you do, say, and try to live a better life. Give them better than what you had. And I hope this helps somebody. I have more videos to come. If you like my video, please give me a like. Please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. I would greatly appreciate it if y'all would become my family and support me. And for that, I will let you all go. But please, subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Deuces.